Well, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do something just a little bit different. Today we're going to start building a wood stove. Not just any wood stove. We're going to make it out of all kinds of scrap pipe fittings that I ended up with at an auction. So come along as I start turning this into a nice little wood stove for the shooting shack. To begin the process, I drew a line around the T. I needed to cut this off and have a flat spot for the top of my stove. I do intend on cooking on this, so a flat spot would be nice. So I got a nice line to go around this thing, nice and square, true. So now it's up to cutting it off and getting it right. So when you're cutting stainless, it it does take a little bit. You're definitely cutting with a grinding wheel. I didn't have a plasma cutter or anything, but I think the end result with a grinding or cutoff wheel gives you the best bang for the buck. It takes a little bit, it makes a lot of noise, a lot of sparks, but when you're done, you have a nice product to work with. So there we go. Now I got to clean up the burr. So the one thing when you're cutting through any of the stainless is it's going to leave like a razor sharp burr on the inside. So you definitely want to clean that up. Wear gloves, be careful. It's razor sharp, so get everything cleaned up, make sure it's safe. At this point now I'm looking at, I have to put a top on that that I'm going to cook on. So I had some leftover stainless plate. This would have been for, I bought a bunch of this when we were putting the feet onto the deer stand bases. You can watch that in an earlier video, but I ended up using this stuff because I had it laying around. The one thing with it though is it was not wide enough to go across everything, so I would end up having to cut two pieces at a time, and I would have to weld those pieces together in order to have something wide enough to go across it. So I cut some for the top. I ended up cutting for the bottom, or not the bottom, the back end. I ended up cutting one for the front end. So in order to join them, I had to weld them. So what I am going to do is I'm going to TIG weld them. So ended up I have a TIG rig at home. I have a welder. Incidentally, when I bought this welder, that T came with it. It was just an add-on with the bundle that was at the auction, but a mechanical company was selling, or they were liquidating, and I ended up buying an old Miller dial arc, which I am using here, and I ended up with the T and a couple other stainless fittings. So I looked at this T for quite a few years trying to think of how I wanted to do this, but my end goal was to go ahead and make some type of wood stove out of it. So you go through, weld it up, get her together, and then now I have to cut everything so it fits on that top. You can make a round cut with a cutoff wheel. It takes some time. It makes a lot of noise, a lot of mess, but you'll get there. You just have to keep on going, and eventually you'll get it. All right, I just got done making the top. I cut it out, getting it fit up now. So I'll let you guys take a little look here. So you can see, got the top plate down. It's up a little bit in a couple little spots here. That'll come out of it once I get everything tacked down. The top metal distorted a little bit, but all in all, it's coming along pretty dang good. Okay, now we have to do a little grinding on the end caps of this thing. Remember, we kind of cut all this out with the top plate too, so just getting everything nice and cleaned up, getting all the shavings off of it, so she's ready to weld. All right, here you can see that I'm marking out, this is going to be the whole area, that's going to be open going into the fire. So there'll be a door that swings over this. So I decided that I was going to drill holes in the corner just so there wouldn't be any issue with any cracking. So now all we have to do is kind of connect the outside dots, and then we'll cut that out with the grinder. All right, folks. Well, it's Friday night. Just got done with supper, and it's time to start working on the old wood stove again. So let's see where we're at, where we left off. So at this point, we got the top, it's all welded on, and we're working on the caps. So I did tack on, just tacked in some angle iron that'll be flat across there, and that's going to be there to hold the grating that holds the logs while they're burning. This guy here is going to be a cover plate for the back side, and this guy here is going to be for the front side. So this will be the front. There will be a lid that closes in there, opens on hinges. You see those hinges are not exactly, I don't know if you can see it, but get an angle on it. They don't lay exactly flat, so what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to shore them up just a little bit with a little piece of flat so this thing closes and operates as it should. I've also worked on the exit for the smoke, the flue, if you will. So what I have is, this is 4-inch Sked 10, and you know, it was really loose. So what I did is I cut another piece and I sliced it, if you can see that, and I inserted it inside of there. And I'll probably go through and tack that together, maybe weld it. There's another small ring in there that you can see that goes towards the bottom. So what it is this is a piece right here. This is a piece of the flue, or the stovepipe, and it's 4-inch. I sourced this at an Ace Hardware, and as it goes in, you can see there's kind of a spot there where it stops. So we can get a better angle on it. So there's kind of a ridge there where it stops. So at the bottom where those come in, should rest on those also, just to give it a little bit more support and hopefully help with getting rid of all the smoke. So let's see where we get through tonight. This is where we're going to leave off today. I got the basically the underneath stand built. I got this guy. I did show you this yesterday. But I did get the door on there. That piece has been built. Built a grate for the firewood to sit on. While it's burning, there's the flue. Here, let's flip this thing over once. When that door's on, this will actually fit in there over that door. And a door will go on in front of that here eventually. So the next thing that we need to do is I need to mount this guy on top. Cut a hole. That'll be the flue. So more to come. I ran out of argon today, so fun times. We'll have to get this thing buttoned up after I get some more argon. But coming along, pretty happy with it. It's going to be a small little guy, but it should cook me right out of that little shooting shanty. We will see. All right, at this point, I ended up having to get this taken in and plasma cutted. This is where the flue is going to go. So that is where the smoke is going to come out, right there. And that's the hole for it. So I did attempt to use one of these cheap Master Force hole cutters. Bi-metal piece of junk. No good. Stainless is a booger to get through the way it is, but those things had no chance at all. So, all right, we'll keep building this thing. All right, now that we got the end plate welded on and the front plate is getting ready to weld on, you know, we're ready to put the flue piece on there. So, I'm gonna tack it up, Start welding pretty bright. Make sure you're using the proper PPE when you're doing this stuff. Everything gets very hot, very intense light, but once you're done, you know, you have a good product, and you just got to clean it up. Make sure you use a stainless wire brush on this too. A carbon steel will make this thing rust. Here is the end result of the project. I think it looks pretty good. So as you know, it started as an 8-inch T. We cut the bull nose off of it. Cut a hole in there for the flue. Ended up capping each end. Welded everything up. Had to put a stand underneath it, so 3-point stand makes sure that it doesn't wobble ever. And then we have the custom opener here. So all this works is you have weight on this, so it comes down. You'll be able to get inside there, throw your pieces in, and it's kind of hard to see inside there, but you can see there's the log holder. This will obviously come out as needed. I'll have to figure out a good way of getting this cleaned out, but there she is. She's closed. I also have the vent here on the bottom. See that open and closing. Pretty simple project. Just takes time, a little effort. Let me know what you think.